Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another video. This is going to be a tutorial on how to do a DIY shot tracer. I'm doing this in the context of golf, but I don't know why it wouldn't work for anything else where you need to have kind of an overlay of something that follows a moving target. Now the purpose on this one is to have a little highlight, with this golf ball. It can be hard to see on the video where the golf ball is flying, but that's pretty critical information. So you have a shot tracer. Now, the shot tracer that I use is not perfect. It doesn't match what they do on TV perfectly. I just have a little dot, and it follows the path of the flight of the ball in the air. It doesn't leave a trail. But this is the best way that I've done it. Also, I'm using Sony Vegas. That's the only way I know how to do it. I think you could probably do something similar in another video editor, but I'm not super familiar. So let's just get right into how to do it. So first, I've imported my video clip. I'm going to go to the moment that I make contact because I think that's the critical piece here for my purpose. Actually, I'm going to go slightly before. And then what I have done now, this is my video clip. I've added a new video track that is on top so that it is layered above. And I have gone to media generators. And I have selected solid color, and I've selected red, and I just dragged it right here onto the screen. Okay, now I'm going to have it so that it starts right when I want it to start. And then what you do is you click on this little event pan crop button, and then you click mask, enable mask. So what the mask does is it basically creates everything but what is on the screen is going to be masked out. So now what I do is I use my little oval tool and I make a little circle. Now you can see my circle on the screen. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now I'm going to move it around so that it matches exactly where I want it, right on the golf ball. And then basically what I've done here is I have modified it so my first keyframe matches right where I want it to be. Now I like to click this sync cursor button, and what that does is now anywhere I go on this timeline, you can see it matches with the video, and that's pretty critical for my purpose. And now this line here that is parallel with mask in gray, anywhere I go, so if I hit my right key on my directional pad on my keyboard, you can see that now if I zoom in, if I double click, now I've created a position on the timeline. Now I go back up here and I right click, select all. Now I use this little, if you move your mouse to the middle of this, now I can move my mask. And if you can see, I'm trying to follow the golf balls right about here. Now I want to place it right on the golf ball. Okay. Now I go back, I click here on my timeline, and I start scrubbing through. Now this one's a little tough because I can't actually see the golf ball much more because it was early morning and I think my frame rate got a little jacked up. But basically now, if this were a little better video, I would just continue to go back up and move the mask to follow the path of the flight of the ball. And so you just keep going back and forth to your timeline, move a little bit further, and now I'm going to go back, I'm going to double click here on my mask to create a new point. I'm going to go back up to my circle and I'm going to move it to where I want it to be on this point. And just continue that process. And I can't see it anymore, but I having played the hole, I do recall where the ball traveled, and I'm just going to continue to estimate my best guess on the flight of the ball. Now, at some point, I will speed things up a little bit more, and I'm just kind of adding points on the timeline. And now I'm going to go here to the end. When I think that I quit watching, that's probably typically when the ball gets to the ground. So I remember I hit it right about there. So that's where I want it to end up. So this is my final point on the timeline. And now it's just about going back through and making sure that the flight of the ball looks realistic. You may need to play around with this a little bit to see where you want to put your points on the timeline. So now if we watch, that's what it looks like. Now again, if you want to make it better, you can, the ideal thing is you could see the flight of the ball very consistently the whole way, and you could add accurate points on the timeline, or you can play around with the points on the timeline where their positions are, or you can right click and play around like with, if I right click on my point, it's on linear, that's the type of animation. I can do different types of animation. I think smooth might probably be a little bit better. So you can play around with that. I'll change all these to smooth. But that's the basic idea. And again, this is something that you can do probably in just about any video editor where you can do animations. And this would allow you to play around with making your own shot tracer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.